playing us in
Hello. Hello.
again.
Once again. As always.
I get so nervous when I do it for the fucking show.
Oh my god.
Sure, yeah, blame it on that. Oh, that's from Saturday Night Fever, right?
That's as far as I
The
got.
Bee Gees.
Was that okay? I wasn't looking. Was that slamming sound? Was that your foot hitting the keyboard? Is that? I thought like something fell over in my
That's him.
office.
Yeah, no, that's him hitting
It
the
might
push to
have
talk.
been.
But that's you doing the
With
push
his
to
toe.
talk.
I think so.
I'm glad that we have the worst bit ever to open our show every week now, which is just screeching
see,
recorder
so I
sound.
started
That's great.
I had the idea after I saw the movie, and then I decided to not do it, because I didn't want Moose to just play it better, and, over me. But then he said he was gone, so at 6 o'clock, I was like, I guess I'll practice that. So,
I hope he feels
but considerably easier to learn than the Pirates theme.
hopefully he feels better enough within the next 2 hours to where he can record it and just send it in, and then we can.
Yeah. We're changing over to a call-in show, and he's gonna
Yeah.
He
thank
just
you,
plays it
anonymous.
by
You're on
ear.
the line, and then it's just Moose with a recorder.
Yeah.
I made sure to try to do more, to not do as many slurs in my review.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did notice that though. That was definitely better. Definitely. Definitely better.
Definitely. Okay.
Definitely into it.
So that's our theme song. This is There Will Be Duds. Episode something. We'll have to figure out how we want to number these too. I thought of that when I said ooh, what about for a 50th episode we do blah blah blah. I was like, oh, but which one is this? Is this our 8th or is this our 12th or whatever it is?
Yeah, I don't know. I almost for the older episodes, I'm almost thinking the dark years, and then just because some of them are just going to be straight up VODs. Some of them will be actually edited things. They'll be.
Yeah, we'll just pull a McElroy's thing with episode 420 and just drop it randomly and be like, this is episode 50.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys weren't ready for that one.
Yeah. Anyways, this is There Will Be Duds, some episode, and I am J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me,
Hi,
as always.
I am Dr. Funk on Twitch.
I am the super general, as always.
Sans Moose tonight. Sans Moose.
Sans.
Yeah, no Moose.
Semper Fi Moose.
He's with us in spirit. He's practicing the recorder.
I could feel he's the spirit of jazz entering me to play.
Yeah, you're
California Dreaming on the recorder.
channeling Moose through your flesh-colored recorder.
Spirit of jazz.
Yeah. I'm gonna climb up inside you, boy.
Oh. Oh man.
Your music book is just the I can't say that word right now. The
Necronomicon.
Yeah, but just you open it and it's hot cross buns and shit like that.
Well, I think a lot of the old music notation and the directions. I think a lot of that's old Latin.
Yeah.
P and I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Don't fact check that
I think
one.
it was written in blood too.
But forte, fortissimo, pianissimo, piano. I think a lot of those.
It's Italian.
Definitely.
Yeah, it might be
which
more Italian.
Which is heavily based in Latin. So I mean.
Yeah, so I was right.
Close enough, at least.
Close enough.
Close enough for me, I'll say. We saw a movie this week, but we also Travis played a game. Did you want to talk about that, or do we want to do something?
Yeah, we
else?
can, since we're all fans of it. I guess I did kind of just.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm down. I didn't have anything major.
Okay. Okay. Well, to start off, about around when it came out, I think Resident Evil 5. I think it was 2008.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, probably. Right around 360. PS3.
Yeah.
Gen.
My wife and I first got into Resident Evil 5 because it's a co-op. It's a co-op game, so we played it together, and we liked it. We always had this nostalgic feeling whenever we would talk about whenever we'd have tacos, because we used to always have taco salad and play Resident Evil 5. So we were like, oh, we'd have this kind of inside joke of like, oh, let's play Resident Evil 5 and have taco salad tonight. And then like a month ago, we were like, hey, let's actually like play Resident Evil 5 because it's on sale for like $5 on PS4. So downloaded it, played it, and probably the 50% mark, I just hated every second of it, and I just raged. Like, it's so stupid. So
Is it does like the difficulty just ramp up in certain spots, or is it just annoying?
I don't know.
Repetitive?
It's just like
Because I felt that a little bit with 5. It's definitely not like my faid.
No, I mean it's not like it's really not. I don't know. It actually at the time was the only Resident Evil game I'd played 4. So I didn't really have much to compare it to. I just think it's dumb. There's just like a lot of dumb shit in it. And it's funny because like I was if you guys have listened to the Besties recently, they're actually picking like the best Resident Evil game of all time right now. And like Resident Evil 5 was
really?
like, yeah, Resident Evil 5 was like automatically disqualified because they said it was so bad, and I was like, oh,
well,
okay.
Well, yeah, because like I was I was playing Resident Evil 4 on stream the other day, and like I was kind of talking about. Because, like, about halfway through Resident Evil 4, after, like, the castle section, when you go to, like, the island, there's still, like, horror elements to the game, but I think tonally it shifts more or less into an action game. And I think Resident Evil 5, I haven't played it, but from, like, what I know about it and what I've seen, is basically an action game that, like, features Resident Evil characters.
Yeah.
That's what 5 and 6 both are,
Yeah.
like, action movies.
6 is terrible. 5 is, I could never see that playing that like solo, but co-op it's like kind of fun. There's this like mechanic where like you have to go through a door, like you find a door that you need to go through, and it's like a checkpoint type thing, so you both have to be at the door and activate it. So like I play as Chris Redfield, she plays as this girl named Sheva. So whoever gets to the door first can just spam the activate button, and they'll just be yelling the other character's name the entire time. So if I get to the door first, I'm just like, Sheva, hurry, hurry. And it's just this like, and you, even if she can like respond even like, I'm coming.
Mm-hmm. Oh
and
my God.
It's just obnoxious, but I don't know. I think that like, I'd have to replay Resident Evil 4, but that one actually is a decent game, but like, I just feel like what Nintendo does with their like fake scarcity, or what is that called, where they like
the artificial scarcity.
Yes, artificial scarcity. They do that with like their ammo, and like all of the zombies are like it takes 30 headshots to kill them. So you like, oh cool, I found 10 rounds of handgun ammo, and it's like, okay, I have to use every single one of these on one zombie. And
that's been happening to me with Resident Evil 4, where like I straight up like ran out of. I had to fight the dogs, like the zombified dogs, and I had no shotgun rounds, and like I died twice because like my handgun just wasn't doing shit.
See,
and I was like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
4 at least has the stranger guy, and you can like buy shit from him. Like 5 has that kind of in between levels. 2 doesn't.
Yeah, it's more level based.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
4
sections.
is more just kind of like a flowing narrative.
Yeah,
but
and that's
5 is more broken up.
Yeah, it's like there's 5 or 6 like levels, and each one of them has like 3 or 4 levels within them.
Yeah.
And between that, you can like upgrade your weapons and buy. I think you can. Actually, I don't know if you can buy ammo. I think you can buy like grenades and stuff. But we've been playing Resident Evil 2, the remake, and it like to be fair, it looks really cool. The presentation of it is all like super, like it's cool. When I first picked it up, because she couldn't find ammo, I was like, oh, this is actually. I know I swore off ever playing a Resident Evil game ever again, like 2 weeks ago. This actually seems like kind of fun. I might get into this. And then like the first couple times I played like an hour or 2 at a time, and then the third time it was like, oh no, here it is. Here's Resident Evil. here's some stupid. Oh, look, it's like these really shitty puzzles. Oh, you have to find. Right now, I have to find fuses that are in the shape of chess pieces, and then you have to put them in the right order and like doors to like open up this lock to rescue this little girl who's being held by weird mutated zombie things, and it's just like I have 2 rounds. I have 2 like handgun bullets, and it's like
well, it does Resident Evil because I played a little bit of the Resident Evil 2 remake. Do you have to like find gunpowder and then combine it with some other bullshit in order to make actual rounds?
Yep. Yeah. That's you don't have to do that, but that's just like an extra thing. And the funny thing is there's different types of gunpowder, and she has a bunch of gunpowder that makes submachine gun rounds, but she doesn't have a yeah.
But she doesn't have a. It's like in Resident Evil 4,
Sweet.
like if you don't buy the TMP and then you find like a bunch of TMP ammo, I'm just like,
yeah.
well, I'm just gonna sell this to the merchant then, because like I have no other use for it.
Yeah, I think like a conservative guess. She has over 300 rounds of submachine gun ammo and 2 rounds of like handgun ammo. No shotgun.
Oh my God.
None of that shit. And it's just like I'm just like I want to beat it and get it out of my house because I rented it. But same thing with Resident Evil 7. I started that and I got to the first boss and I was just like, I'm shooting this guy. I don't know what the fuck to do. Supposedly you have to run around this little room and find keys, and there's car and you enter a car.
Yeah, you have to
and,
fight
like,
him in the car.
Yeah, something like that. And it's just like it's always like you never know. Like it's not like clear. It doesn't say like, ooh, look for the keys. It's just like you go into this room and it's like, okay, you just have to die 10 times until you like walk around and find the little shiny thing and pick that up and activate something.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and I'm not saying these are the exact same game, but like not by a long shot, but like something like Breath of the Wild that doesn't tell you like anything.
Yeah.
But like that there's cases in that where it's kind of just like you die until you figure it out. So like
Yeah.
That's a little bit different because it's not like Resident Evil is kind of on rails somewhat. Like you only really have one direction, or you can maybe go off into a side room. Like Breath of the Wild, you can at least go, okay, I don't know what to do here. I can go anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's just like when I get stuck in Resident Evil, I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, look for some stupid door to open or.
Yeah, and then it's like because there's another game called Outlast. Have you guys ever heard of that or played it?
Yeah.
Outlast is it's a lot of fun, but it's very similar to that, where sometimes you don't know what to do, and there's like a small section that you could have jumped over that leads you to like the way out of like the area. And I think with horror games, if your puzzle design is not like make it difficult, but if it's not like coherent enough, after a certain amount of deaths, instead of being scared, you're just pissed.
Yes.
Because it's just like
Yeah.
There's like certain
Devour.
Yes.
like
That's
what?
I was gonna say.
Devour, yes.
Devour.
Yeah.
You're just
Like that's what I said about like the thing that pissed me off the most about that is well, like one, like I think we had to look up or somebody told us how to do the thing, or I guess maybe we would have figured it out.
We didn't even
Kelly
know that we were
figured it
supposed to
out,
use the hay for the goats and then get the goats.
Yeah.
We didn't even know how to. What are we doing?
I think that's one thing is like I think in that game something they should do is if you can catch a goat without the hay, you should still be able to catch the goat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like even if you have to like chase it around, but also like I think games, and especially like so we're talking about like horror games like this where you're like trying to figure out what to do or whatever. Like they have to follow their rules that they set out, and that's what pisses me off about Devour is the Anna or whatever her name was. She doesn't follow rules. Like Phasmophobia, you can go to their game dev like spreadsheet thingy that has like all the updates and whatever, and you can see that they like, you know that the ghosts have rules. Like they are a physical presence on the level. They follow a certain set of like if it's this ghost, it does this, and it moves this fast, and that's it. And if you do this, you can avoid it and whatever. And Devour just doesn't do that.
Yeah. The Faz is like a puzzle, and you just have to fit the pieces together. It's always the same like method. You do know whatever. And Devour was just like we had to, like we said before, we had to kind of cheat the game a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just was like that can't be how it was intended.
We were like, okay, let's just stack hay here, and then like we'll all camp out here, and it's like.
Yeah. Lock the last goat in like the basement room or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like they came up with, they were like, hey, what if we had this scary lady and she would run at you and grab you, and then to beat her you had to bring 10 goats to this thing and sacrifice it, and 10 things of gas. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Like, how do you beat it though? Well, that's what I just said. Okay, but like, are there any like techniques, or is it like, yeah, no, just what I said. Just like get the goats.
Just
and
that.
Burn them. Just that. Like they didn't like play test it. They're just like, no, it's that. Or we just suck at the game. Like maybe there's like really, it's just like obvious, and we're just like totally boning it.
Yeah.
But.
Well, yeah, I watched. It was like a YouTube highlight, so it wasn't like the whole thing straight. Or no, it was. It was the whole game. And you know, I never watched this dude before. It was just like the first thing that came up for it. It was like a playthrough of the Asylum. Yeah, of the new level. Mm-hmm. Just because I wanted to see it. And they beat it their first attempt, and like the whole time it seemed like they were just like they weren't as like, I don't know. It was just weird because they beat it their first try,
but they weren't having fun.
Well, I don't know. It just like they weren't like. They didn't have to cheese the game. If anything, they were like, "Oh, what do we do?" What? Oh, like there was a lot of like, I don't know what to do, running around. Doing nothing. I'm like, how did they come out on top with like when they were that like muddled or whatever? But it was so difficult for us. So yeah, maybe we do suck, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was just watching that guy play Lunch Lady, and like. They like died a few times, but like right before I got on, they were like, it was just two of them too, and they were like, figuring it out. They looked like they were probably gonna beat it that time that I stopped watching. So,
is it the same deal as
I think you have to, it's Devour. Yeah, you have to find like 10 things, I think.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is exactly, but yeah, it's very similar. Like even like the fighting, or I don't know if you'd call it fighting, but the like when she attacks you, it's very, very, very similar to Devour.
Yeah, I tuned in when you mentioned that, and it was like she hit you, and then you're downed. And then I think you crawl around, and then your buddy can come revive you.
You can be revived.
But if you all get downed, then
Adam Sandler comes out and plays Lunch Lady Land.
You mean Jimmy Fallon? I guess it's kind of in the same vein, but like I went and saw Quiet Place on Tuesday too.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
How was it?
I didn't care for it.
Oh okay.
I
didn't get to see the first one in theaters, so I don't think it left as much of an impression on me. So I'm not like super interested. I liked the first one. I just didn't think it was like great. It's one that I really wish I had been able to see in theater, just because everybody says like it was one of those.
Well,
to see.
I don't think it was anything like mind blowing. I think part of what I said last time also was like the sort of blinders of like being so excited to be back in a theater was partially why I had such a positive reaction to it.
Oh yeah.
Because I enjoyed it a lot, but also like I enjoyed it in like a turn your brain off popcorn flick kind of way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this is so deep and insightful and profound, and like the messages that John Krasinski is imparting on us. It's like, whoa.
I'm trying to.
I thought Cillian Murphy was pretty good.
He's good.
A good Cillian Murphy performance.
Yeah, what's that? James said he had a term for it, and popcorn movie. I've always thought that's like a good. It's just like a like kind of like a, I don't know, like a cheesy action movie where you're just like, oh, I'm just here for the ride.
That's like Yeah, it's
Is it like a
that's
thing?
what like Marvel movies are.
Yeah,
Like
that's,
when
Popcorn movies.
when your mom got those free tickets a long time ago to see Fast Five,
oh yeah,
that was like
that's definitely
that
popcorn movie.
ruled. That ruled.
That was yeah.
Yeah,
what it's like.
Yeah,
That's what I think
that's-
of.
The Fast and Furious movies are like perfect example of that too. Of like a good like turn your brain off popcorn movie.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to mention this. I totally forgot about it, but coincidentally, on a podcast I was listening to, like yesterday, they were talking about Resident Evil for some reason. They're doing like a remake or something. I don't know.
Resident Evil 4 VR.
I never really.
Is that what you're talking
Huh?
about? Resident Evil 4 VR.
No, like a movie. I think they're doing like a new movie or something like that. Like
Great.
I'm not
Come
exactly
on,
sure.
Talk about popcorn movie.
But one of them mentioned how, which I can't believe I never like thought of this myself before, but he just said, "Have you guys seen like Resident Evil giraffe blowjob?" And it's basically, it's just the logo.
Oh, come on.
It's just the logo for Resident Evil 6. And I guess it's like a thing that people say. It looks like a giraffe getting a blowjob.
Oh, getting a blowjob. Okay.
And it's kind of all you can see. Like,
Yeah, I see it.
but yeah, I just wanted
I
to
think that's. Yeah.
shoot. Now how do I get rid of
Oh yeah, Nick. How do we get rid of it? I was going to ask.
Shit.
Did you get the little like thing at the beginning of Quiet Place with John Krasinski where he's like, "I'm so grateful that we can be back in the theater and this is my favorite place in the world."
Oh, yeah,
you get
I
that?
got one of those.
Yeah, I was like, man, this seems like super like anti-mask or some shit. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad we're done with these
He did
rules."
like a message. That's
Yeah, it was just him
it
for
did
like
a
30 seconds.
It was sort of like a welcome back to the theater type thing. I don't know. I have a lot of. I guess that maybe they're not super conflicting. Maybe I just don't really like John Krasinski like as a person because I don't know. He's kind of like because he's doing like what? How many shows is he doing? That's like the CIA shit.
Oh yeah,
That's basically
Jack
like
Ryan.
yeah. That's
hey,
his shit.
isn't the CIA super cool? Isn't like isn't the United States meddling in foreign affairs? Like I'm making Jim face like he's like doing like his office bit, and it's just like and then he did when when COVID first happened, he did his little like I'm gonna make my own like happy Zoom show. And then he did that for a little while, and then he sold that shit for like $1 bajillion dollars.
Oh yeah,
Like
That definitely rubbed me the wrong way.
just like I don't know, John Krasinski has like worn off all sorts of like good feelings I had from him like towards The Office, and just like being like a CIA propaganda guy, and then just like cynically making like a show for people during like a global pandemic, and then selling it for like $10 million or whatever the hell.
yeah, and he's never even acknowledged Resident Evil giraffe blowjob either. It's fucking pissing me off.
His silence speaks volumes about giraffe blowjob.
Yeah, but kind of like it goes hand in hand with Resident Evil because like a lot of the problems I had with Quiet Place was like I really hate it in like horror movies, mainly horror movies, when people do stuff that is just so obviously like dumb. It's just so obviously like you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't
Just
do
to,
that.
like, progress the plot or whatever.
Yeah, or to like try to make some character development. It's like no, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They would not do that.
Yeah,
and there's just like some stuff in it where I'm just like, this is
Are you
just like
thinking-
ridiculous. Mainly the
you think
older son, the older kid, he just like sucks.
when he like for no reason does that thing, and then it sets off like a whole chain. It's like why did you do that? There was no reason for you to do that other
You
than
just
to
boned
move the plot
everybody.
forward.
Yeah, exactly. And
What? You can tell me.
well, there's
I don't care.
if
I don't care about-
for the one other person listening, I don't know if we want to spoil it for them.
Yeah. If you don't want to have a Quiet Place
Yeah.
Part 2 spoiled, turn off the stream and then I don't know, check back in like 2 minutes.
Well,
Or don't.
okay, no, Kalea's watching mine too. I was gonna say I have 2 viewers and it's me and Nick.
No,
Yeah.
I'm on there.
Chloe's
You got
watching
3.
too.
It says 3 on mine. Oh, it just dipped out.
It says, oh, weird.
We're just jerking each other
We're
off.
all watching each other.
Basically, like, so there's like a flashback scene at the very beginning where like John Krasinski's alive again. He's back in it, and this is like before like the aliens or whatever showed up. And then later on, like literally right after the ending of the first movie, they find their way to like this huge like facility, warehouse, whatever, where
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy's been hiding out. And he's like, you know, like, you guys can't stay here. I'm already running out of food. You can't stay here. And then, like, it's sort of alluded to that, like, he lost his wife or his kids or
His
whatever. He's
kid
basically
and his
alone.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, then there's this scene where TJ just resubscribed to me in the middle of it. And then the message said, interrupting your anecdote says what? That's meta.
Yeah.
But there's like a scene where the son like leaves the basement that's like soundproofed, goes all the way up to like the very top, and then like pulls back a curtain, and you see like the corpse of one of his kids or his wife.
It's
like,
it's his
decomposing.
wife. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and he like, you know, stumbles and falls and like makes a bunch of sound, and then that triggers all the aliens to come to them, and it's just like there was no reason for this kid to do any of that other than to push the plot forward.
His mom
I wanted
leaves.
it to be like Sloth from like Seven.
I thought you were going to say Goonies.
No, it's like Sloth when they find him in his bed, and then Jay McGinley, whatever, the dude from Scrubs,
John C.
is just
McGinley.
like,
Oh,
yeah, and he's like, I hope you're in hell, and then like the corpse like starts moving.
Oh,
around.
yeah.
I wanted that to happen.
Fuck me. That's so creepy. Yeah, no, it's like literally it's just the kid and he's with the baby. And like the mom has to leave because she has to go get some supplies or whatever. And she explicitly says, "Don't move. Like, I'll be right back." And like he's like, "All right, 10 minutes later, fuck this." The other thing I don't get is they have this soundproof baby box that they put oxygen through for the baby so they can like shut him in there and put So here's the thing, they carry this fucking baby around all the time. But as soon as they put him in the box, it's like, "All right, bud, here comes the mask and here comes the lid." Like, you have to be, we can't do you just in the box without the lid on the top because you might cry, but you won't cry when I'm holding you. Like, I know babies are a little bit more calm sometimes, like when they're being held, but like I think that's like weird. Like, they have to put him in there. So like they start with like a full oxygen tank, and then like after like a couple of days, he's like, it's like almost gone because they like as soon as they put him in the box, mask, and like what Kelly said is like he's a baby. He's going like this all the time. He could easily knock the mask off of himself and suffocate.
Yeah.
And basically the whole premise, so like the first movie is like, okay, that was interesting and cool. And like the whole second movie is literally like the end, they're just like they find out like the hearing aid thing, like the screeching, like the feedback from like that like stuns the monsters. So like the whole second movie is just her, like the girl, the daughter, like trying to get that technology someplace. That's it.
Yeah.
So they can defeat the monsters. That's like,
I don't know.
that's
I
it.
thought, aside from like some of those moments, I thought that some of like, I guess at least the set pieces were kind of cool, or like the way that they dealt with like the whole, the core concept of like being quiet and not making sound. Like I thought the fact that there was like an island where there were people like basically living normally.
Because they can't
like,
swim.
the aliens can't swim.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're just, like, chilling, having a bonfire. And then, of course, you know, they get to the island, and then one of the aliens got in the boat, and then blah, 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 blah. Because, like, there's, like, the broadcast tower, like, on that island.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some cool ideas, but, yeah, definitely moments that are just, like you were saying earlier, like, following the rules. Just follow the rules.
That's what I'm saying.
If like you do stupid stuff, that's like not like I'll forgive characters for not being like purely like smart and logical, but some of the stuff is just like that's dumb and only exists to push the plot forward.
Exactly. It's obvious. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, okay, he's terrified. Like, maybe he can't make the best decision because he's terrified. But it's like,
but then he trips
every
on like
single
6
time
rakes and like
Yeah.
falls down the stairs, and it's making
Yeah.
like Hanna-Barbera like like sounds as he's falling down. You know?
like in an 80s slasher where somebody falls down and the only way to get back up is for somebody to circle back and like pick them up. It's like, no, they can't just like everybody just like, you know, lift yourself back up in 3 seconds. Like, nope, he's gonna get me. That kind of shit. I will say the like intro scene is like really cool. I actually watched like a John Krasinski like broke it down on like YouTube, and it's like really cool. There's actually a shot where like the camera broke and it like slid forward, and it's like it ended up being like a perfect shot because they were trying to do like a one shot deal. So it turned out pretty cool, but like it kind of just left more questions than it answered. Like the first one, it's like, okay, they're in this weird like kind of post-apocalyptic world where there's these monsters or aliens or whatever that are like killing people, and you barely even see them. In this one, it's like, oh, there's like a meteor or a spaceship that crash lands, and then like 30 seconds later, it's pretty cool, but they just come in and they just fucking smack people, and like that's how they die. They just hit them so fucking hard. Like, that's cool, but it's just like why? They're not eating any of these people. They're not feeding on them. They just fucking hate people.
They just wanted to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's like maybe supposed to be some like Black Mirror shit or something, but then it's like, okay, so why did they come here? They're not hungry. What do they eat? And like, are they like are they intelligent or like, but they leave birds alive? They don't hate every sound. They just hate like people sounds. Oh, but then this chick like answers her cell phone goes off, and the alien or monster fucking hates that shit, smashes her to pieces, and like it's just like, all right, I don't really know what you're showing me now. Like what is the besides? I mean, it's pretty bad.
My lizard brain from last week thinks that shit's so funny.
It was cool. Like, that was entertaining. Just seeing him, just like literally, just like you just like this can, like as hard as I could like hit this can and just like fling it across the room. That was like people.
I don't know what movie it's from. I've only seen it like as a video on like Twitter, but it's like this. Oh god, it might be like a Jurassic. No, it's not a Jurassic Park. It's like a monster movie. But there's this like scene where like it's like this dude who's basically gonna like have his great big sacrificial moment, and he's like walking towards the monster with his gun, and he like cocks it, and it's like this dramatic music is swelling. And the monster just comes up and smacks.
Oh yeah,
and it like. The way they did him dirty, they did him so dirty because he goes like flying into the mountainside and then explodes on his back.
That's awesome.
It's just like it makes me laugh because it's just like this big dramatic and it's bah, and you just watch him like kind of tumble in the air and explode.
Yeah, that sounds like something out of like
good.
Cabin in the Woods or something where they just totally like take a trope kind of thing and just like turn it on its head and just like.
That's the funniest scene in Cabin in the Woods, when the motorcycle scene, when he's like trying to like ride the motorcycle and he just hits the invisible wall and tumbles down.
Yeah, it's just like that's great, and it's so like
that.
It really like that's like kind of the moment where it like changes to like, wait, what the fuck am I like? This is not what I thought it was. It's not just like
it is
horror. It's like,
well, it's like you at least for the. That's the part where for the characters it does, because you as the viewer know that there's like the people watching over. You don't know the whole story yet. But like, that's the first time for them. They're like, oh shit, something is like seriously fucked up.
And
here.
it kind of changes the whole tone as of like towards more like kind of comedy, because that's definitely like
then
a
it's
laugh.
like they're really
Oh
I think so too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I will say that Quiet Place, that was like maybe my feelings on it are maybe skewed by the fact that it was one of the worst like theater experiences I've ever had, because there was like, we didn't think there would be anybody there, but it was
First
like
one or the second one?
this one, yeah. We went and saw it on
Okay.
Tuesday, the second one, and it was, they were doing the thing where you had to have 2 seats between you and everybody else.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much full. Like every seat that could be filled was filled, and it's like supposed to be it's like a quiet movie, and there was like, I could hear every single fucking popcorn kernel being chewed up and like masticated. It was so
Yeah.
gross.
As
and
soon
there
as
was
the movie started, I pretty much like I put the bag down. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know. 'Cause
that's
I think the when I saw the first one, yeah, everyone was like, that was opening candy. It was just like ASMR in my ears, just like the
yeah. I know.
like the
It was
package
like,
ripping.
I kept like going like, what the? Somebody's like right behind me, but. And then there was like these 2 teenagers, like kind of like a row back and like down towards the other end. And they were just like messing with the chairs. You know, every theater has the recliners now. And so it's like,
Yeah.
chomping on popcorn, like just being
I mean,
ridiculous.
That's not funny. I'm not.
No,
laughing at that.
I was just like, I was so close. That was the closest I've ever been to just turning on, and being like, "Shut the fuck up," and just like, just going off. But
Yeah, was that you, TJ, that was talking about that? Like, you're talking about you and Kalia went to go see a movie, and there were just like kids like on their phones and just like talking and like.
Yeah, it was when we saw Hereditary. They were right in front of us, and a couple of them were right next to us because we're like, why did they sit like this? It was a group of, I think, 4 girls, and yeah, 2 of them sat in front of us, 2 of them sat right next to us. And what I realized was that I had because that was when you had like assigned seating. But the theater we were in wasn't like, it wasn't packed, so I was like, I had realized that we sat in the wrong seats. We were in, I believe, 2 of their seats, so that's why they sat themselves like that. But to me, I'd be like, why don't you just sit in the same row, or that?
Yeah.
But like it was maybe like a quarter full. You know, there was plenty of 4 seats in a row. So I mean, like, yeah, you could have either just told us, or like that, like the girls, the 2 that were sitting next to us, there were seats on either side of the girls in front of us. So like, they didn't need to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So they were just like making a point. I was like, well, like, if they said something, I would have moved. But since they didn't, I'm not going to be the one to speak up about it, you know?
were they like texting each other or something, or communicating?
Or they were just talking like out loud, like normal speaking volume.
See,
Sometimes,
I think that's like a defense mechanism, I think, because it's like, I really only, the worst people are in like horror movies, like when they're the talking and like the texting and stuff.
could be.
It's just like, because they're like,
That whole.
Well, and that they were also on their phone with like the screens bright.
Oh
and
my god.
there was these people behind us spoke up first, actually, and she's like, she leaned forward and she's like, can you guys keep it quiet? And they're like she was whispering, and then the girl like responded, she's like, actually, you don't, like, what we're talking about doesn't concern you, or something like that. Something really, like, and then the
awesome.
chick behind me was like, well, actually it does, because we're in a fucking movie theater and you're being loud as shit. Like, which is fair, because she was being,
Yeah,
this
that owns.
this was like well into the movie. I would say
Yeah.
at least 2/3 of the way into the
Oh
movie.
Jesus.
Before she said anything. And the first thing she said, I thought she was really polite for
Yeah.
like how obnoxious they were being. So like just that 180, I was like, that's what they deserve.
what a response. Actually, this conversation doesn't concern you. It's like,
It was something along those lines.
yeah, but
like,
still, it's
not
just like,
exactly that.
yeah, I don't really give a
This
shit
sounds
about
like a
the
Curb
topic.
Your Enthusiasm episode.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
It does.
Yeah, this kind of.
It does.
And then the lady behind us went outside to go tell somebody. They
Yeah.
had like a couple people come in and just kind of like stand, I guess,
Yeah.
just to make sure that it was still quiet or something.
Yeah.
And the girls, of course, like shut up. I think a couple of them actually like left the theater for like 20 minutes. I
Yeah.
think because they were just trying to avoid that. I'm like, why are you going to the movies?
Yeah.
Why'd you come to see this movie?
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, they ended up giving everybody like a free voucher, like a free movie voucher for that. That, and there was also this couple up front who brought their kid, who brought their toddler who was crying. And like I think it was like when they came in to like scope for the other girls or whatever, they were like, "Hey, you guys aren't supposed to have like a baby in here or whatever." And like I can't remember, the girl got like really pissed off and she was like yelling at them, and then they left, so that was like another thing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure those girls also got free vouchers too. Ones who were.
I think that sucks that like we had to do that a couple of times when I worked at the movie theater. It's like that sucks that the movie theater has to like take responsibility for dumbasses in the theater talking. It's like it's not their fault. Like
Yeah.
I know. I mean, like I don't think anybody asked for it. You know, I think that's the default probably.
Yeah. I'm sure those girls were probably like, what theater was it at?
Celebration North, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so their parents were probably like going to dinner or something, and they were just dropped them off at the theater, and
maybe. Why Hereditary? Why Hereditary? do they not know anything about it?
Probably not.
We all watched a movie from 1994 directed by Wong Kar-Wai called Chungking Express. It is two stories, similar stories about policemen falling, both recently broken up with and both trying to find love, sort of. It's a romance, primarily. And it's two separate stories that almost overlap, but miss the mark by 0.01 centimeters. So who wants to start us off on Chungking Express?
I'm gonna grab a beer, but someone else start off.
Okay.
Maybe
I will then. Yeah. Well, this isn't really related to the movie, but up until like I actually started watching the movie, every time you said the director's name, I thought you were just saying the name of the movie, but like in the native tongue. So like, and that's another reason. Like I was confused last week too. I was just like, wait a minute, what? I don't understand. Yeah, I was just like lost. So, yeah, that's all I want to say about that. And then somebody else should start because I do not have good feelings about. I don't like this movie. So, I'm not a good one to like drive conversation.
Okay. Usually I pass these off to other people, so
I'll start.
I'm not actually sure how to start it.
It's Wong. What was the director's name again?
Wong Kar-Wai.
Kar-Wai. Yeah. Okay.
Kar-Wai.
I think so. This might be semi-controversial then for Travis specifically, but I felt how I felt about this movie the way that I felt about La La Land. In that I during the movie I was like, okay, like this. I think the last sequence of La La Land, I think that like
sells
really,
it.
He's through most of Chungking Express, I was like, it didn't really grab me. It didn't grab me super hard. I think the last like 30 minutes or so, when you spend time with like the second police officer and Faye, I think her name is
Faye.
Yeah. And then like I think that kind of stuff. I think the way that it ended was much more satisfying than like the rest of the movie was to me. Like I really liked the sort of like melancholy feeling of the last 20-ish minutes of that movie, and like the way that it like dealt with, you know, because like they were both dealing with like grief and loss and like, you know, wanting that human connection, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, throughout the whole movie, I was pretty much just like, it just didn't grab me super hard. And then the last 20 minutes or so, I really enjoyed. Kind of same with La La Land, where like I was watching and I was like, okay, this is fine, this is nice, okay. and then the last 20 minutes of La La Land, they like twist the knife, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt.
I guess just a quick interject there. I agree with you on Chungking, but also you're a fucking idiot.
I need to see La La Land again. To be fair, I've seen
Yeah.
it one time in like 2016 when it came out. So
I mean, I would
do
kind
need-
of agree with you a little bit on La La Land, but like the climax is the best. But like there's like some pretty good like acting shit that happens.
There are
like really
and like
good.
Ryan Gosling is.
A fucking
I love Ryan
beefcake.
Gosling in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I like agree with what Nick said, but like I'm like an octave higher. Like I would say I liked the movie pretty. Like I loved the ending. I liked the movie.
Okay.
I think you're more like you were like kind of on the movie, but then you really liked the ending.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like I pretty much mostly liked the whole movie. Love the final scene especially was like so good. I don't know. I really liked I guess pretty much like everyone, but I especially like both of the male leads. Who did you guys notice who the first cop was?
I didn't notice it until I looked it up on IMDb, but
It's our handsome boy Jin from
Yeah.
House of Flying Daggers.
yeah.
I'd recognize that handsome face anywhere.
Yeah. Him
Gorgeous.
and I mean they were both pretty handsome, but yeah, he's like
I thought
like
the
a-
second guy was a little. I was a fan of the second guy.
I really liked. Yeah, so that's Tony Leung. He's also in The Mood for Love. That's like his biggest movie, which is
Okay.
Another Wong Kar-Wai movie.
That's like the one that I have that I've heard is like basically Wong Kar-Wai's like
Yeah,
masterpiece.
Yeah, I think it's usually like that or Chungking Express, depending on who you ask. Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in anything before, but I thought he was fantastic. I thought like I don't know, I really really loved his performance. Just like really just like subtle facial shit that he did like whenever he like interact with Faye. And then I also love like probably my favorite part of the movie like in general was just the narration of both of the male leads. They're like melancholy, like lovesick, like super sappy stuff, and like him like talking to his soap and stuff and being like, "Oh, you've lost weight. You
And
need
the
to
rag."
be more confident." Yeah, and like
It's like-
and then like he gets the new rag and then he's like, "Oh, it's still crying. I'm glad that it's even though it's changed on the outside, it's still the same like emotional towel on the inside," or something like that.
Or like when he's like waxing philosophical about like do apartments cry too, or like his apartment weeping when it's like when it's flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says like, did I leave the faucet on or is my apartment weeping or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I kind of hated it.
So now you hated it.
Yeah, I kind of did. Like as it went on, like I watched like the first like 30 to 40 minutes. And then I was just too tired, so I had to fall asleep. But I was just like, as I was watching, I was like, I'm fucking 30 minutes into this, and it's like, when is this gonna like take off? And then like I started it up the next day, and I was just like, I feel like nothing's really happening. Am I I don't know. It just it was like as I got more, it kind of goes into my whole theme for tonight, which is like hating something the more and more like that it goes on. And I was just like, as it just kept going, and I kept pausing it. I'd pause it like every 5 minutes or 10 minutes to see how much longer was in the movie, and I was just like, I'm like, I'm at the hour mark. Okay, so the hour before this,
What
is
is
fucking
going to
wasted.
happen?
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting angrier and angrier because it's like wasting more and more of my time because like less and less of the movie was left for them to actually do something like I guess, interesting. I don't know. I just didn't. It.
I will. Yeah, I will say like the first story with like the the woman in like the
drug.
wig who shoots a bunch of people
yeah.
and like
Yeah.
that I felt bad because I was kind of on my phone during that because I'm like because it's like I don't know, I watched it on the
It's
Criterion
definitely
channel.
the lesser story.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
second
like, for
story,
sure.
the second story, I felt like was much more like kind of, you know, they kept missing each other and like it
Yeah.
the second one kind of reminded me of oh god, it's like a couple romantic comedies, like what's the one where like they both believe in fate and then like they meet again like 10 years later. I think John Cusack's in it. God, Chloe would be so mad at me for not knowing the name of this movie.
Thank you.
It's like they
Serendipity.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of had some of those vibes, or any of like those kind of romantic comedy tropes, where like they would
Yeah.
just miss each other and like
There's one where it's like that specific thing, and then they like end up together when they're like 50 or something, and it's
yeah, or it's like, you know, or like Lost in Translation almost, like kind of those types of movies where like she's gonna. Because, like, I guess what I'm thinking of in, like, Serendipity, she, like, writes her name and number down on a piece of paper, but then it, like, flies away. And this is, like, she writes him a boarding pass, but then, like, he can't read it because it smudges, so he doesn't know where it goes to. Kind of like, in that vein. So I thought the second story was much stronger. And then the first one, it almost reminded me of the subplot in season 2 of Twin Peaks, where I think I can never remember their names.
Is it James and where he like goes off?
No.
He's, like, looking at the-
Bobby and Audrey.
No, it's what's her name? She Packard, Josie Packard.
Oh yeah.
Not her, but the other lady who is like Jack Nance's wife, who like she like dies but then comes back and she's like
She
wearing,
comes back
like,
as a Japanese man.
yeah,
A fat Japanese
but it's
man.
yeah, but it's like the way it's like she was wearing sunglasses and had like the huge wig. Like that's kind of what it made me think of, was just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was like a corny disguise, and like I think it was supposed to be like mysterious and like
It's somebody like or like stylistic for sure. I think.
Yeah.
Wong Kar-Wai is a pretty stylistic director.
and I think in that regard, I thought I thought the movie was very pretty. I think the color
Yeah.
choices, like the neon lights of like the convenience stores that they were in, it reminded me
Yeah.
of like a Safdie Brothers movie, like that glaring neon
I-
of like.
not just for that, but I'll touch on that if you're done. But I also
Yeah.
had Safdie brother vibes.
Well, I feel like all the like the way the shot compositions were very like Safdie Brother-esque
Yeah.
too, where it was like
Yeah,
kind of like those
very,
medium close-ups, like in
Yep,
your face.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's all,
I'm-
like very more so the first story, but like the hot kind of like with like the woman in the blonde wig, like the like fast paced, like she's in she's drug dealing and whatever, she's in crime and whatever, and yeah, like those like close up shots, handheld a lot. I was like, I'd be really surprised if they didn't say that they were inspired by
like Wong
if
Kar-Wai.
the Safdie brothers didn't. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, they gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like the color in a lot of those scenes was like really really either pretty or just like interesting, but like yeah, the neon convenience stores and all that, I love that shit.
You guys sound like Moose talking about cats.
Oh yeah, the lights and stuff. Well, it's different when it's like something vapid and shallow like cats, and then something that and like that
This
you
is
can't-
art, goddammit.
that they just saturate out the ass because like they think that colors look good, when like there's a difference between that and like actually using like good color
Intent.
balancing and like yeah, I really really love the like all the handheld camera work and stuff. I thought like there were so many neat shots where like there was one, this one's like a really simple one, but it's the blonde lady. She's either counting out money or she's filling the things with the Coke or whatever. And it like starts on her and then like kind of like pans over and she like hands it off to a dude. and the camera's like it's like a really like smooth shot. It doesn't like stop on anything. It's just like that kind of like constant flowing handheld feel. But like the timing of it all is really cool because she like does that, and then like it goes up, and she like hands it to somebody else, and then he puts his jacket on, and he hops off the bunk because he's like up top, and then the camera like follows him down, and then a dude walks through the door, and she hands him off a thing, and I don't know, that was one that stuck out to me.
It's
and
a
then there's
condom
like
full of
there's
drugs,
yeah.
so he can shove it in his butt.
But yeah, I would also agree that the second story is definitely the highlight. I would say that for the first story, I pretty much just enjoyed Jin, his name's Takashi Kaneshiro, is that guy's name. I pretty much like the first story for him. I really like that guy, I guess, and I liked his narration. But the second story, I liked the whole story as a story. And I would say I was a little let down by how the first one ended. It was kind of sweet that like, the lady like said happy birthday or whatever, but it was a little lackluster. But it definitely also feels like the second story is the main story to me. Kind of like in a different way because it doesn't follow the same characters, but kind of like Full Metal Jacket, how it's almost two separate stories, but they overlap. And a lot of people in that say the opposite. They say that the first part of Full Metal Jacket is the good part, and the rest is eh. But I like the whole movie in that case.
Yeah,
and I would say I liked the whole movie of Chungking Express, but definitely the second half was a vast improvement, I would say, overall.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stick with. I'm gonna stick with. I didn't like it. I just like. There were some shots where it was like. I don't know. There was a shot, or scene at the beginning where he's like fighting somebody. And he's like, "Oh, this is the first person I've arrested in however many months or weeks or something." And I was just like, this looks like shit. Like it's like some kind of stylistic, like intentional stylistic choice, but I just thought it looked like really bad. It looked like something that like an amateur would do to cover up that they can't like choreograph or do anything like that.
Are you talking about the scenes where it's like that?
It's like
like
low
really
frame rate,
blurry and low frame weight, and
so it's like
wham.
Really
they don't
blurry,
have. Yeah, they obviously didn't have enough dedicated wham to like edit that scene, so they're just like, let's slow this shit down. But I don't know. I just, as I said, like as it was going, the second half when it felt like so much of that was just her playing around in his apartment, and I was like, it felt like 50% of it is her like dancing or doing some kind of like, and I guess it does kind of come around because like you said, like with the rag, like she gets him a new rag and he doesn't notice it, and then there's kind of like a joke of where he's like, I've been being more perceptive lately, but like then there's all this new shit in his apartment and he like doesn't notice. He's just like, he doesn't notice it at all. But I just felt like I was just like, and they kept playing that fucking song, and I was like, we get it.
I knew. I told Clea after like the first couple times, I was like, Travis is going to mention how much he hates that.
Yeah, I like the song. I really like that song, but now I don't know if I do, because it's like, we get it. Really? She likes the song. She likes the song, and apparently that's the only song she ever listens to.
That like, and the Cranberries.
The Cranberries song, yeah. It was just, I don't know. Like, I get it. They're trying to set up this like this thing, like, because then at the end he gives her the CD back and he's like, "Oh, you forgot this," and it's like, yeah, we get it. Like, you don't have to play it 10 times. You could probably do it 3 times.
And then she's like,
eight.
yeah.
Was it really 8? Did you count?
It was 8.
Oh my! That's a crime. Yeah. That's criminal.
They
got the right.
And then she's like, "Oh, California was okay."
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they got the rights to one song for that movie, and it was
Yeah.
California.
Like, oh, you were
Dreaming.
putting that shit in there 8
One and a
times.
1.5.
Oh, yeah,
'cause they
that's
had
right.
to do a cover of the
Yeah,
Cranberries song.
that's true,
They couldn't do
yeah.
the original.
They got the song from Holy Shit Piss on there.
Oh, is that why you said that? That's the song that it is?
Yeah, if you watch that, if you, but
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
that
that's-
cover. It's not the English cover. It's not the original. It
Oh.
is that cover of the Cranberry
Whoa.
song that's playing when he's like, "Holy shit, piss."
I forgot.
It is
I
that
was wondering
specific
why he
cover.
said that. Okay.
And then right after he
Awesome.
says "piss," like the lyrics come in, like he is like a fucking radio, a morning
cannot-
like DJ.
You cannot like time that any better.
Yeah, he could have been like, "Holy shit, piss! Thanks for listening to 76.4 FM," and then it hits like perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
P133. Holy shit, piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a little conflicted on it. Like I think that
Let me see if I can sway
yeah,
you.
there's a number between what they used, and I think it needed more. I definitely think I was okay with it being played more than just like the first time and then the last time. I'm okay
Yeah.
with there being like a couple more in between there.
Yes.
But yeah, I would maybe agree that it was
It was a little overkill.
It was excessive.
yeah. That is like one of my favorite songs though, probably just because it's a song that I can just it like
it's a good
every time
song.
it came on I was like you know what, I have definitely listened to that song multiple times in a row just of my own volition, so like I was okay with it. But there was a point, it was more like early on, like I feel like the first like few times it was used, it was really crunched together, and then it
Yeah.
kind of spaced it out.
Yeah,
so
a
it was like
little bit.
if they just took out the ones at the beginning and just had like one, then like maybe the rest of them, because there was 8, so I'd say like do the
Yeah.
first one, skip the next like 3, and then I feel like the last like 3 or 4 I was more okay with like the spacing of those.
It just doesn't like it. It seems like they're really trying to. They were really trying to put it in your head that she likes like this is her song.
Right.
Like, and I don't like they didn't need to do it that much to get that point across. Like, they like literally they could have had her listening to it maybe twice. Like she was listening to it the first time, and then she listens to it again, and the guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, you like this song?" Everybody would have logged that in their brain, like, "Oh, that's that song. She really likes that song." Like, you don't need to keep doing it. It just felt a little like hand holdy, and then like. Then at a certain point, it was just like, it wasn't just handholdy. It was like, I'm gonna abuse you with this. I'm gonna make you
I'm
feel
gonna beat this
pain.
into your skull.
Yeah, like it was almost like they had a personal vendetta against. Is it the mamas and the papas?
Yeah, it's the mamas and
Yeah.
the papas.
It's like I have a personal vendetta against them. So I'm just gonna like destroy them.
I want as many people as I can to hate this band, and this is how I'm going to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
destroy their legacy. Yeah, I will say that it was like, it was kind of like watching the stock market or something. It was like, I mean, for the most part, it like started here and it was like going down, and then it got to the second half and it was like, oh, it went up. Oh no, it's down. It's back down. Oh, it went up a little bit, back down. And I just never like there was just like little like, but overall it was going down like the whole time until like the last
there's,
like the last 20 minutes. It still was going up and down, but it like leveled out like overall. But it was still just like I was just like not having a good time because it just took too long for what it was.
Yeah, and I think kind of going into it, and this is on me, but like also like going into it, I was very much like, this is an important film by an important director.
Yeah.
And then it's like
On
there's
Criterion
nothing
Channel.
worse. There's nothing worse than like going in to like a movie like that, or at least one that you've sort of built up in your head like I did. And then you're like, okay, I'm along for the ride, but I don't know how I feel about this. And then the last 20 minutes was great. And then yeah, that's kind of a bummer when it's like you expect
Yeah.
it to be. I thought it was I thought it was a movie about a train when I went into it because I guess I took the title. I didn't realize that like it's a reference to like the type of restaurant. It was like an express.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The restaurant was the Midnight Express.
Yeah.
And it's that mixed with like, it was like, I read that it was like a district where the director grew up was like
Yeah,
the Chungking
yeah.
district or something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Did you guys think it was weird when the guy would the whatever 66 Officer 663 would ask for black coffee and the guy would give it to him in a Coca-Cola cup, like just like a regular cup?
did think that was weird.
I was like, dude, that shit's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
I think that's also I'm not sure when like I feel like the mid 90s is like probably the peak of like Americanization or like American values like being seen broadly as like cool. So like when you get Coca-Cola, that's like,
Yeah.
oh, I recognize Coca-Cola. And it's like kind of, well, there's also like a McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that might have been partly like of the times because in the mid 90s, I feel like that was like the peak of, it was like Clinton, right? It was like stock market's good, economy's good. We're, asterisks.
Yeah.
But it's like, when America had like cultural staying power in that way. So like there's Coca-Cola and there's McDonald's and like there's all these like very recognizable brands everywhere.
Yeah.
That was my read of it at least. But it was funny to like get a black coffee in like a Coke cup.
Yeah.
I will say though that like, I sent it to Leah that like I really am jealous of their like where he was eating when he had the black coffee. I think because that wasn't at the Midnight Express. That was in like
He
that,
did it
wherever
at the
that
Midnight
like alleyway.
Express too.
Oh, okay. That like alleyway where he
Yeah.
was eating with his work buds a couple times. It's like, man, I'm so jealous of the like that looks so like choice to have just like back alley food with like all these different grills, probably like homemade food, and you just go up
Yeah.
and you're like just like street food like that. Like
I've
the
heard that
ass.
like street food at places is like out of this world good.
yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. It was interesting also the like diversity of the like the people in it. Like there was like
An American or something.
yeah, and
Was not expecting that,
Japanese,
dude.
Chinese,
Yeah.
those Indian dudes in the kitchen were like maybe the best part of the movie for me because like they were just those guys were fucking hilarious. Like she has the candles because she didn't pay the electricity bill.
Yeah, and they start
And they're
singing
like,
happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah, I
like,
forgot
okay,
about
this and then they're
That
all
was
like,
good.
we're going on break. I'm going on break too, and they're just like walking out one by one, and I don't know. I like those guys a lot. It was really hard for me at first. I was like, wait a minute, like, where was this movie shot, and like where is this supposed to be? Like, I don't know. It was very interesting the diversity.
It's Hong Kong.
I guess that makes sense. It's like a big city, like yeah.
Yeah.
It was just really interesting to see that whole like. It kind of reminds me of like New York almost in the sense of like
Yeah.
different areas.
Was,
like you go across the street and it's Little Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was this Wong Kar-Wai's first movie?
No, it
No,
was like his
okay.
third or something.
Oh, okay. Because like I think I was almost gonna say if it was, I think I would give him like I guess a little bit more like benefit of the doubt for like some of the. I guess I would interpret as like amateurness of it, like those low frame rate shots seemed like
Yeah, but
using it
that's definitely-
stylistically a few times. Like I get, but I feel like it feels like it was two separate movies because like the first 45, 50 minutes with like the first story utilized a lot of that low frame rate shooting type things.
Yeah.
And then it had like that one song that played during the intro credits, and then it played a
I
couple
like that
more
song
times.
too.
It reminded me of
the
like
Mamas
Blade
and the
Runner.
Papas?
It was
Yeah.
no.
I mean, yeah, but no, it was like a jazzy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know
way
if it was an original
Blade
song
Runner,
or
like Nick
not.
said.
It
Oh
did.
yeah, I didn't
and it
hear
was
that,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay, like the vibe of like this kind of dirty, inner. Because I feel like, and again to like draw, from the Safdie brothers, I feel like a lot of movies like in New York City like glamorize the city. Like, you walk around and like everything's clean and it's like you go to the storefronts and everybody's blah, 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 blah. It's hustle and bustle. And then you watch like a Safdie Brothers movie and you're like, New York's gross and dirty
Yeah.
and like scummy and just like not in a negative sense, but it's just like there's a bunch of people here. It's going to be dirty. And I feel like that was definitely the vibe like for the first story with like, and then it was like the Blade Runner-esque soundtrack that was playing, and then like you see like these dirty alleyways and like the neon lit, convenience stores and shit.
It essentially was like an anthology movie. It's just kind of weird because it's not necessarily like set up in that way, and it's only 2 stories, so it doesn't. Most anthology story or movies will have like 4 or more,
Right?
Yeah.
But it essentially is. So yeah, I would take the first one as like a romance crime noir, and then the second one is more like a rom-com dramedy type thing.
Yeah.
They do definitely have different feels. Did you guys like speaking of the low frame rate shots? Because I thought, and they did it twice in the second one, that I thought was really cool, where it was a shot of Faye and the cop. He was standing drinking his black coffee. He's like leaning on the counter there, and they did the low frame rate, so the shot is like a lot longer than it actually was. So like everybody's like they're blurry in front of them, but like he's like, I'm imagining like when they were filming it, he had to have been moving very slowly.
Very slowly.
For them to be able to capture it. So he
Yep.
takes a drink, and I thought that was really cool. And then they do it another time later, maybe when he's waiting at the bar for her at the end. I can't remember, but both times they did that, I thought that was really cool. The effect of that was really neat. Not that it was like mind blowing like how they did it, but I just thought it was cool. If
they achieved that sort of in a practical way where it wasn't just green screen. He just drank it very.
It was definitely green screen, or not green screen. It was definitely practical.
No.
Definitely practical.
Yeah.
Which I guess in my viewing, from what I remember, I do remember being like, oh, okay, that's a cool little thing that they did.
It was kind of so slow that even in the sped up version of it, he was still going like kind of slowly.
You can that's how I could tell. You can kind of tell that he is like stiff. He's a little stiff when he does it, but I still thought the effect was cool.
We've done it for like Lynch stuff. We did it for Thanksgiving with the Cranes, where there's like a shot outside and like the heads are going like this, and then they like walk away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what they did for those.
Yeah,
and then
we just did it like the opposite way. Instead of going super slowly to make it look normal speed, we went.
I think it was we kind of did exactly like what they do in the movie Jacob's Ladder with Tim Robbins. That's like a thing in that where there's like these demons in that where they shoot them in like low frame rate and they like shake their heads really fast and stuff. I guess I see a lot of that stuff as like I would say the only thing that didn't really work for me in terms of I didn't hate the California Dreamin' thing. I do kind of agree that it could have been used a little less, but I didn't like hate it. I kind of went with the fact that like I think it's supposed to be. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but like I kind of got the feeling that it's supposed to like be too much at some point. So you're kind of like a little sick of it. But then, because this is kind of how I felt, where I was like, okay, they don't need to be playing it that much. And even though I got that it was a musical motif, I was like, okay, it means something, And I kind of got a little like, okay, they don't need to play it so much. But then when it played in the final scene, it like came back around and I was like, okay, awesome. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm giving him too much credit, but I wonder if he did intentionally do it that way so that you're like kind of annoyed by the song, so that when it comes back around, assuming you are, on board with the plot and you're like, yes, they're meeting up, yes, and it's like cathartic and whatever that like you
Yeah.
kind of associate that with the song.
It's like when you're like laughing at a joke for how stupid it is, and then or it's like the Story of Everest sketch from like Mr. Show with Bob
That's
and
what
David.
I was. That's what I
where
thought you were gonna say. Yeah.
where he knocks the thimbles over, and then they set it back up, and then he knocks it over again, and then they set it up, and like he knocks it over like 5 times, and by the time he knocks it over for the 5th time, it's like the funniest shit you've ever seen.
Because it's like it's that
Travis looks like he's in physical pain right now.
Kind of. I'm just like when TJ was like they're meeting up. Yes, finally. I was kind of like it was bringing me back. Like I almost had the movie that I was thinking of that this reminds me of. Like the whole thing where they're not quite like
La La Land.
No, it's not La La
Oh
Land.
no, you're trying to think of. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the thing that's like stuck in my head that I'm trying to dislodge that kind of works is Forrest Gump.
Lake House.
No, I was kind of
almost
thinking
said
that,
Lake
but
Trust.
but Forrest Gump, where she's like, oh no, she's still like a drug addict and a psychopath, and yeah, until he gets raped, like that's how Forrest Gump is. You're like, yes, finally he's getting raped, great.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Man, it's been a second since I've seen Forrest Gump. Don't remember that super well.
Well, it's not. I mean, he's definitely willing, but also he's mentally handicapped. So, you know,
It's a little weird.
gray. There's some gray area there.
Yeah, it's a gray area. Yeah.
God, that makes me want to say like inappropriate shit in the Forrest Gump voice now. Just-
She thinks you're gonna play Mamas and the Papas again, so she's like, "Get me the fuck out of
Yeah.
here."
yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a tweet that I saw that was like Forrest Gump voice. I'm sorry that I ruined your eyes wide shut party.
Anyway, what I was gonna say is the only things that didn't really work for me is the music, in that sense maybe, but I'm trying to justify it with that. But then also, I thought maybe the low frame rate stuff in the first story was a little too messy. I would agree with that. But like, I don't know. I'm always split on stuff like this. I feel like if I generally like something, or if I generally like a director's style, I'll give him more slack on stuff like that I don't really gel with. Like if I didn't like the low frame rate shots.
I kind of feel
'Cause,
like that
like-
with Bong Joon-ho. Like, I don't know, with like Barking Dogs Never Bite, which also Travis didn't like very much.
Yeah.
But like, I think I liked that one a lot more than I guess I liked this one. But it's like that kind of, you're more forgiving of like certain things. Cause,
Yeah.
I
Like,
know
well, 'cause-
there's tropes that like I don't like that we don't get like symbols or like the way
Probably.
that they talk or like
I was thinking of that too.
phrases like idioms kind
like,
of
like cultural, you mean like cultural differences?
yeah
I was
like
thinking of
that they
Terrace
don't
House.
yeah they don't quite
How
translate
like they communicate different. Yeah.
yeah and you know like some of it's I'm sure like in the some of it's lost in translation but I also think that some of it is just like it's probably translated correctly, but it just doesn't. It's like I said, it's like an idiom. It doesn't quite mean.
Yeah.
It has some other like meaning to it because there's like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was around the time when he was like getting the pineapples. Also, that guy would have diarrhea for a week after eating 30 cans of pineapples, like back
Plus
to back.
four salads and a cheeseburger and like 2 plates
Yeah.
of fries.
That guy would be like just a constant stream of liquid shit.
Traumatic diarrhea.
Yeah. It would hurt.
And the black coffee.
Yeah. It's just yeah. I don't know. There was something in there where he was talking like and I was just like, "Oh, that's I kind of get it. It seems maybe like melodramatic the way that they phrased it or something, but like I kind of understand the gist of it, but I almost feel like it kind of would like mean something more, you know. Like in Japanese, like in Terrace House, they always say like I'll do my best kind of thing, or like they always respond like something like that, and it's like it's a little corny, and I don't like that's not quite what we would say, but it'd be like like that's how it translates.
That's how they.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
So.
there definitely is with with foreign language films, there's a sense of a lot of shit isn't directly translated because one, they have to like they have to basically translate it, but sometimes the thing that they say is like it would they have to translate it in a way that like the subtitles like make sense in like the timing and stuff. Where like sometimes sure the subtitles maybe like go on longer than like they actually talk, but like basically the rules are like you try to avoid that as much as possible, and also you like
it has to match
you just
what
kind
the
of have
other
to make
person's gonna say too.
that stuff too. Yeah, so like like I went on IMDb to check on quotes that I couldn't remember, and they're a little different than what they were in the movie, just like slightly. But I think like if you go on something like that, it's probably a more direct translation than like the subtitles you're going to get to. So that is always going to be an issue that you just can't really get around unless you learn the language, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
And even if you learn the language, you probably would translate it the way they translated it, but you're still not going to get like the idiom kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like people like,
yeah, exactly.
Other cultures would be like, what the fuck? They could translate it and be like, what the what the fuck?
Yeah,
What?
and I know like video games have that trouble too, or at least like for like my realm of understanding, like the Earthbound games. Part of the reason that like Mother 3 hasn't been translated is one because of like it's pretty dark in nature and like some of the themes in the story, but there's there's like jokes and there's like stuff that like I think like Nintendo Japan is just like I don't think the Americans would like this, or we're making fun of them, or this is like a cultural taboo over there, like that kind of stuff. So it's like yeah, you're always gonna run into like translation stuff issues like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were translating from like multiple different languages too.
In this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's talking to like the blonde wig lady.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, your Mandarin's good," and he's like trying like he says the same like, "Do you like pineapples?" in like 4 different languages.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that part was probably easy to translate, but
yeah.
I really like the him just like thrashing around in the rain on the baseball field. Like I'm trying to run out all the moisture in my body, so I can't. It just was so like
I thought
like
that's
it seemed
what
like
I mean,
something
like,
out of. I could see Paul Rudd doing that in like Wet Hot American Summer. Just like
I do think though that scene was like fairly. I thought that scene was a good, poignant ending to like the first story. With like him leaving the pager at the baseball field and like him leaving the pager, and then at the very moment he's like giving up on it, the pager goes off and she wishes him a happy birthday. I thought, kind of like what Travis was getting at. I think this movie was overall wasn't my favorite thing, but it's like a movie of moments that I really liked, and then other parts in between where I was like, not super vibing with it, but there were like those little moments that were like, oh, okay, that got me. Like that was kind of cool, especially like the pager scene, and then like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're saying like that's like that stuff, like running all the moisture out of my body. That's like exactly like that narration. I really like that. Like it is corny. It's very like lovey-dovey, lovesick, but I really liked it. And I think it's like because like both of those actors sell it. Like especially, I like Takashi Kaneshiro already, but like I'm now also a Tony Leung fan because he was so good. Like when the ending of that where she's like, where do you want to go? And he says, wherever you will take me. And I'll be like, you can take me anywhere you want, Tony. Like,
he's very
the way that he said that, I was like, damn.
He's very like suave. He's very like like he could be like a James Bond type character.
You know who he reminds me a lot of is
James
Cary
Bond.
Grant. Actually, probably just because we just watched the Philadelphia Story, but he's got that
Casey
sort of
Grant.
like Casey Kasem. He's got that sort of like really mellow, suave charm where like he's so well at playing it where like he doesn't know how charming he is. And that's Cary Grant has that out the ass, and I totally got that out of Tony Leung in this movie too.
Adjacent. I don't think he's quite that. I think he's got like
I'm not
got
saying
more
he's
of like
as good
a
as...
smugness. I'd say he's more of like a George Clooney, where there's like a little bit of like smugness. Like he knows that he's smooth, but like
maybe
not like overly.
He's kind of
smug.
also, but he's kind of got like the sort of klutzy, clumsy, awkward factor.
Yeah.
As well. Like he can turn it on and he can be smooth, but also he rolls with the punches, and like it can be vulnerable and also like.
Yeah, it's like when he puts
clumsy,
the uniform on, he's like suave, but then like he gets home and he's just like in his tighty whities and like talking to his soap and his dish rag.
A lot of tighty whities. A lot of tighty whities.
and like dollar store flip flops and just like walking around with like 40 fish in his fish tank.
Something that did like irritate me to no end was there's a part where I think it's after she realizes she got set up and she like kills that first like group of dudes, the blonde lady obviously.
Yeah.
She's like in a hallway. It's like a shot down a hallway, and she just kind of like she gets like pissed, and she kind of like, I don't know, she does like where she just kind of like throws her body or whatever, and she like drops her purse, and like a couple things fall out, and she doesn't pick up one of them. I think it went to her left and she just didn't notice it. And she picks up the other shit. She puts it back in the purse and there's still one thing and she walks off. I'm like, you dropped something. You dropped something.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I feel like we're already running out of steam on this thing. It's kind of what it feels like.
That's fine. We can have podcast episodes that are an hour and a half that are 2 hours and 45 minutes.
This is still almost like an hour. Like
we don't have a fourth member right now too, so like that
is true.
Yeah, that's true. We don't really need to go 2 hours. That's like personally, I don't listen to like many podcasts that are over like 50 minutes. That's my limit.
Do we want to final thoughts? Pick the next movie and then.
I think so.
I'm good
I think
for that.
I think I'm good with it. I guess. I mean, I could do this in my wrap up, which I guess I'll just do now.
This is gonna be wild. This is gonna be wild.
What?
No,
what I say?
No.
Well, it was just something I meant to like leapfrog off of something Nick said before, where you were saying that like these like classic like must see movies that you're like, and then you get let down. I totally understand that. I think I've just seen enough of those by now that I have been disappointed by, that I don't get that as much now.
Where I'm just like,
no. it's easier for me to be like, okay, this is supposed to be a classic. Wong Kar-Wai is supposed to be like a pretty definitive Hong Kong director, and this is one of his like big movies. But I'm pretty good at just being like, okay, no, it's just a movie. Just watch it as a movie. So I think I was able to like enjoy it more in that sense, while also recognizing and maybe making excuses for like some of the stylistic choices. Like if it that's kind of what I was getting at with the stuff like the low frame rate stuff, from like if it was someone who like otherwise seemed like a hack director or something like that. Like otherwise he seemed very like he seems like a skilled filmmaker. So I'm like, okay, some of that stuff doesn't work for me, but I can kind of I'm sure it doesn't bug me as much because I can tell that it's like he's doing it on purpose. I just don't get it. I'm really stuck between a 7 and an 8 on this. And I'm trying to give solid numbers.
No, Moose isn't here. We can
Moose
play.
Isn't here. It's okay.
We can
true.
Roam free.
That's true. Yeah, I think fine. If we're going with that, then I'll say 7.5. So that's good.
Hold
Or
on.
I'll say like 7.612. There
Hold
we
on, I need to
Okay.
I need to text something really quick.
You gonna DM Moose?
I'm ratting you out.
Well, all right. Well, while you're doing that, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seven.
Okay.
I'll just say 7.5 for
So, yeah.
easy sake.
I'm gonna go Fantano mode. This is a strong 6. Like I said, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed because I think I set my expectations a little bit too high with this director. There were definitely, again, like I said earlier, this is like a movie of moments for me, and I thought there were some pretty cool moments. I was more intrigued with like the color and like some of the cinematography, visual elements. Yeah, the second story in my mind was way stronger than the first one, and like the second story I think is really where like the movie hits its stride, and then I understand why it's a classic. That was a graduation joke, by the way. I don't know if you caught that.
Which part?
Where they're like, no, it just hasn't hit its stride yet.
Oh, I knew that was from something. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. But I understand why this is an important film. It didn't super resonate with me for some parts of it, but the parts that I did like, I really enjoyed. And like, if anything, watch it for the last, second story. Watch it for like the second story at the very least. Watch it for that. Because like you said, I forget his name, Tony
Leung
Yeah.
or something like that.
Like, yeah, that dude's a smooth operator. Like, that story is pretty good. So, strong 6.
Are you? I thought about like I was thinking back on that conversation last week, and I didn't even think of what if we did Tony Fantano ratings, because I did that joke like the first week or something.
Oh, did you?
No, it was for Justice League, because I wanted to give that and Cats the same rating, but I was like I'm giving him the same rating, but if I was Anthony Fantano, Cats would be like a strong 3 or 2 or whatever I gave it, and then Justice League would be a light 2.
We could do that with the duds. Like, this is a strong dud or a light dud, or
Yeah.
But
that's not sticking to our convictions. Moose will not.
yeah,
like
but
that.
what I guess I do have to know, what is that, a 6 or is it a 6.5 or is it a 6.8 or
we should make
I don't
this.
know.
We should make this
Oh,
the
Jesus.
increment episode.
Oh.
Whenever Moose is not here, we should always make it.
We just
Okay. Then I'm sticking with 7.612. That's my rating.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah, strong 6. I think that's over 6.5. But I don't know exactly where it lands.
Can I quote
Maybe-
you with
maybe-
the? Oh wait, go give me a number.
Maybe if I watched it again, I would be more.
I'm not saying you have
certain.
to change it. I'm just saying give me a decimal.
Oh.
3 decimals.
Okay. 6.58.
5.8.
0.
Repeating.
5.80. Okay, 5.8 repeating. Okay.
All right. So my viewing experience wasn't great, probably because there was some.
Yeah, you need to
There was some-
stop stopping your movies. You did that
There was-
last week too, didn't you?
What
didn't
was
you
last
watch
week?
it in like 2? Yeah, Philadelphia Story. You said you watched the first half and then.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to
finished it
watch the
later.
last 20 minutes because it cut out. That was
And you
just that wasn't my
That
fault.
was 'cause of
Yeah. I've watched every other one in one chunk. I hate doing that. I absolutely hate splitting it up. But when I
Yeah.
started it the other night, I was like, yeah, I feel good, and then I had to watch it on the TV in my bedroom because none of the other Criterion channel wouldn't work on anything else.
Yeah.
So
I had to hook my computer up. To
it
the
just
TV.
switched
kinda
me
lame.
into Betty Bye mode, and I just was out in 30 minutes. But yeah, I just there was my theater experience wasn't great because there was some teenagers laughing and shit, but that was because I was watching an Olsen Twins movie at the same time.
Were you eating beans?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's from.
It uses language that I, as a white person, can't say, but I'll post the tweet.
Yeah. No,
okay.
I thought that's what you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's eating beans.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I guess I'll still need the reference, but
Oh, no.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
funny.
send it to you.
okay.
Yeah, so I was bored and just like increasingly getting more bored as it was going on, and I almost actually stopped it and said, I'm not doing this one this week. I almost bowed out because I just could not. The second one, once it started, I was kind of like, okay, this is different. It's not like a clean, there's not like a clean, like decipherable like transition, is there? Because I didn't really catch it.
It's when they first play California Dreamin'.
Yeah, I guess. But I was
it's because he starts the first story by saying like, I was like 0.01 centimeters away from this woman, and 6 hours later I'd fall in love with her. And his story ends with him bumping into Faye and then saying 6 hours later she.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like,
yeah.
if you can to it, you get the like, oh, okay, new story,
Yeah.
and then the song starts.
Yeah. I don't know, like it was kind of like it took me a while to catch that it was like a new thing. But it was kind of interesting. I was like, okay, these are different people. I kind of like them. But then it just turned into, and here's TJ gets to play a song on the recorder every week. I get to somehow relate it to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And here's my one moment. She was basically Charlie Kelly, and he was the waitress, and he was just like breaking into her apartment, and just like she did this thing even where she like put like these pills, I think they were like fizzy, make the drink fizzy or something, into like a bottle of water that he drinks later on, and it's like specifically like one of the things that Charlie does is he puts like vitamins and shit into her shampoo so that when she washes her hair, it's all like better because she doesn't like get the right shampoo or something.
Can I say Charlie Kelly Express?
Yeah.
He's got the same.
We got it.
The same.
I got it.
Yeah.
I just so basically the whole time I was just like, man, I could be watching It's Always Sunny right now, and I would be having way more fun.
How many times do you think you have that thought throughout like your
probably
day?
once
like,
a day at least. Yeah.
I could be watching It's Always Sunny right now.
Yeah. So yeah, that really sums up all my feelings on it.
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
And do you like take our numbers together and like average them out to put on Letterboxd?
Yes, but that shouldn't affect your rating.
No, I'm just because this is gonna throw a wrench into it. My rating is 3.145, and it's like a light 3.
You're rating it pi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That would be a light 3. Yeah. I would say yours is a. Mine is a strong 7. Yours is a light 3. Nick's is a decent 6.
I will never watch this movie again. Never. I will say that like now that we had the Criterion, like I was kind of scrolling through and I was like, at first I was like, oh, that, like I've always wanted to watch House. It looks like style wise, it like the cover is like it takes.
That's in the cup.
I better get drawn because like I almost was gonna say like we should
bad.
like just pick it because like we have the 2-week thing right now and we should just like kind of cheese it, but like
that one is on I guess
on,
maybe not, but
maybe
it should be on HBO.
But yeah,
because like I said, I confirmed all of these before I had Criterion, so they should all be on other stuff, but there is stuff that's on Criterion that I didn't put on there.
There's a few that I was like the first like suggestion like column I was like scrolling through and I was like, oh, that looks cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to see that one. I've always wanted to see that one. And then every other single like category that I scrolled down, I was like, no, these all look bad. I don't like any of the look of any. Like some of them are from like 1942 and it's about like a nun. And I'm like, nah, bud. Not happening. So I guess I should say I won't be subscribing to the Criterion channel anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'll, no, I mean, I'm not going to do that right now. I was going to say I could see, but And I think next week we'll be picking our bad movie too. So
Well, that
Yeah,
might be on
if-
Criterion.
you know, if it comes down to it, and like that's our only option, then I got what you're saying. Then like if we got to get a month, it's like $12. If it comes down to it, if that's I'm saying if that's our only option in the future.
If it's House, I'd probably just buy House, just for the cover alone. Even if it turns out to be another Chungking Express, I'd probably just buy it.
I don't think it'll be another one. From what I've seen of it, I don't think it's.
I
gonna
watched
be.
like the first. I just kind of scanned the first like 5 minutes, and there was like a shot in there. I was like, "Oh baby, ooh baby."
I've seen bits and bobs of it. Like it is fucking weird.
Bips and Bobs. That sounds like a Knots and Crosses type, like Britishism.
Oh, I just Googled it. I have definitely seen that
Yeah,
art
the
before.
artwork.
Yeah.
It's like a haunted Dr. Seuss, or maybe not Dr. Seuss. It almost looks like Stanley Kubrick or something. Yeah, it looks fucking
Yeah, okay,
rad.
okay.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I might have to watch this movie anyways, just because, like... I just, like, clicked on images, and there's some fucking wild shit that looks rad.
Yeah, there's some pretty crazy imagery. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it's on HBO, so yeah, it's good. Somebody did a Photoshop of Full House and put that cat's face on all of the people. in Full House.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna check before I announce it, just because I'm nervous after fucking up that last movie, Chungking Express. This is on Amazon Prime for rental. It's called American Movie from 1999, directed by Chris Smith. It's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
So that's something different. Yeah, I don't know. It's one that's always like most of them, they're just ones that I've either heard of
shit.
as classics, like something like Chungking Express, or something that's just interested me personally.
These
So,
dudes look rad as fuck.
yeah, yeah. You're looking at the poster.
I'm just looking at just like scrolling through pictures of these dudes.
Yeah,
One guy kind of looks like the dude from Super Size Me who eats a Burger King or a Big Mac every single day.
not the main guy.
No, he's the guy who eats a Big Mac every single day. The skinny guy.
Okay.
He's like really skinny and he eats a Big Mac every day.
I mean,
and-
like I know what you're talking about. It's just I
yeah.
have seen that movie once. I think
Yeah, has anybody? I was gonna ask. Have these all been movies that TJ's added to the cup? Has anybody else?
There's a handful. Whenever any of you guys have like said something, as
No,
long
I
as
know.
I have.
Have any of them been drawn?
Oh,
Because I don't know if
so.
we
I don't
actually
think any
see
of
you
mine.
draw. Like he probably just pulls them out and he's like, what movie do I want to
No.
watch this week?
I keep telling you guys to give me more movies. No, the thing is that I've gotten like a handful of movies from you guys total, and I put over 100 into here. So yeah, more than likely it's gonna be my movies until you guys give me
All
more
right.
movies.
Well, I'm gonna start
I'm just gonna give you a director and be like, put their entire filmography in there.
I'm gonna create a
Just like-
competing podcast called There Won't Be Duds, and I'm still gonna be on this one too, but I'm gonna be on that one, and
Oh
yeah.
my god.
So
That'd
it's
be great.
only gonna be you don't know unless you're picking movies you've only seen before, and
No,
if you're
I'll
talking
know.
about
I'm saying the show itself will be the thing that won't have duds.
right, I think
None of the episodes will be duds. They'll all be like awesome.
Okay.
really it's like this in general is just like my watch list, whether it's like recent stuff, known stuff, good stuff. It's just this is all shit that's been on my watch list like at all. And like, yeah, Oscars movies would be on there for sure. Or yeah, if we just wanted to override it, like if we were really like, no, we want to watch House this week, you know, just for whatever reason. Yeah, we would just set it up.
Full disclosure, I'm probably watching House this week.
Okay.
The TV show and the movie, so.
You just like
Damn.
Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, so if you don't want to be spoiled for American movie before the next episode or whatever, watch it. Like I said, it's on
Go watch
Amazon
it
Prime.
now.
Give Jeff Bezos money courtesy of us. And you can tell him we sent you. Say that.
Give him some money so he can go and shoot himself into space and then never come back.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Bezos. Jeffrey. Did you watch
I still haven't watched it.
No. I've watched that.
Come on, Jeffrey, get him.
Congratulations.
Yeah, watch it before next week or whatever.
Yeah.
And this has been the show. And I've been
Yes.
J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me as always.
I've been Dr. Funk.
And as always, I've been the Super General as always.
All right. Peace out, people.
We'll
Getting a
be
little
right
better at this.
back.
Not to the podcasters, but
Wait a minute.